Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for all our viewers. Don't forget to catch us every Friday, 7 p.m., Friday Fix. That's Pacific time. And don't forget to catch us on our Sunday show. We're still messing with the name a little bit. We still kicking stuff around. So the Sunday Town Hall, 1 p.m. Pacific time.
And make sure y'all pull up on us, man, for both of those two shows. Remember, Friday, we don't talk about no politics. Sunday, all politics.
Yeah, before we start, I'd like to say a rest in power to our brother, Mac Dundee.
Absolutely.
That was a tragic loss for our community, for our state also. And I just wanted to say our thoughts are with his family.
Absolutely, man. Real good dude, man. Solid dude. They don't make him like him, man. He will be sorely missed for sure.
And that man worked. You know what I'm saying? He stayed consistent in what he did. He made sure he was out there, and he put forth his dreams of what he wanted to do. Super real.
But let me jump off into this. Jack Smith's final say, takeaways from the special counsel's report. Special counsel Jack Smith's just released report provides fresh insights into his bid to hold Donald Trump responsible for his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Smith insists he amassed enough evidence to win a conviction if the case had made it to trial. And he laid out a comprehensive compendium of facts he might have presented to a jury. At the same time, his report struck a defensive tone as he sought to explain why the case never made it that far. The public report is also incomplete. Its second volume, which pertains to Smith's investigation of the classified documents found at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate after he left office in 2021, remains secret. Attorney General Merrick Garland does not intend to publicly release that portion of the report, though he wants to share it with the select lawmakers. U.S. District Attorney Judge Eileen Cannon has blocked any dissemination of it outside the Justice Department. And once the Trump is inaugurated next week and assumes control of the department, it will be easy for him to forestall any formal release of Smith's final assessment of the documents case.
Yeah, the crazy part is the second part that I always like to bring up before is the espionage charge.
Yeah.
Because he took all those secret documents, top secret documents, and he sold them to foreign people that would come to Mar-a-Lago. That's why they found empty boxes, and they know what was in those boxes. And so the only reason they didn't release that part of the report is because two people are still facing trial for it's pending trial for that. But I mean, here's a little piece of it. I'm just going to read it to you really quick. And is that all right with everyone? Mr. Trump's false claims include dozens of specific claims regarding certain states, such as large number of dead, non-residents, non-citizen, or otherwise ineligible voters that had cast ballots, or that voting machines had changed votes from Trump to vote against him. These claims were demonstrably and in many cases obviously false. I probably misread that word.
Demonstrably, it's good.
The office investigated whether Mr. Trump believed the claims he made. Or the office investigated whether Mr. Trump believed the claims he made. Evidence of the variety of sources established that Mr. Trump, evidence from the variety of sources established that Mr. Trump knew that there was no outcome determinative fraud in the 2020 election, that many of the specific claims he made were untrue, and that he had lost the election. He knew this because some of his highest ranking officials in his own administration, including the vice president, told him directly that there was no evidence to support his claims. And remember, in the report, Jack Smith says, I have enough evidence to get a conviction.
I mean, it's a slam dunk. It's easy. We all saw it. I mean, as many people deny this, everybody saw exactly what happened. They showed us. They also have, I think it's a recording of him saying, "Well, you find 12,874 votes," something like that. The exact, like 4 more votes than what he needed to win in Georgia. On top of that, they have 7 different states that have filed charges against fake electors that his people sent in to act as real electors for the state. You know what I mean? It's all there. There's no issue in getting a conviction. We all saw what he did at the same time on January 6th when he came out and said, "Hey, make sure you guys come out here. It'll be wild." Everyone saw this stuff. It's not like this is anything like new.
No, I mean, and all the people a lot of people that were around him also are in this report. They said what truly happened. But right now, it doesn't even matter anymore. This report should have came out at least 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You wait. This report comes out. What is it? It came out Tuesday, three days before
he's about to get sworn in.
Sworn in. Whatever. So no matter what you find in this, now, I mean, a lot of people, if you read it and you decide you want to hear the truth, you know you've been duped. You know the election wasn't stolen. But now it's too late. But now you have to live with this. Now you have a man that tried to overthrow the government.
That's not. I mean, that's crazy.
And now you elected him.
That's crazy.
To be your dictator in chief for the rest of your life. And now he's backtracking on a bunch of campaign promises that was the reason you voted on him. I mean, he gonna get the gays out of there. He gonna get the blacks,
and he also gonna get the migrants out. They voted for him. Oh, this is purely over holding on to something that you can't hold on to. This is over. It's gonna slip through your hands.
Yeah, but why do I mean? People always think they're like, oh, it's over. You know, this one. No, these people, their ancestors took this country. They killed, they raped, they pillaged. However they had to do it, they took this country. You know, it wasn't fair and square, but they took it. So I don't know why everybody thinks that they were going to sit around and let the colored people take over, take it back. Look, they have to control their own destiny. And so I don't knock them. And if we sat around, what's
the old school saying? Power concedes nothing.
And now now we're back into an era where, think about this. They're going to make it so untrue stuff you can pass it as true. Look, the people that get to write the history are the ones that got the victory. All right. Absolutely. And so there's going to be a lot of bad stuff that's going to go on. And that's why they're going to let a lot of misinformation happen. So you don't even know what's true or not.
Elon Musk come out and saying that anyone who gets caught on X, what did he say about pushing false narratives or pushing things that aren't true? He wants to come out and say that now after they've done that during the whole election, because he understands that now that you're in power, all the darts are now pointed at you. Everything's going to go against you.
They're doing that on all the websites, bro. So it doesn't make Donald Trump look bad.
No, I mean, because that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, okay, right now first he wasn't in office, so everything was pointed at what Biden did. Didn't matter what Trump did. He wasn't president right then and there.
Well, think of it. It's going to be stupid lies like, hey, some guy just ran up into a black church and killed 20 black people, right? They're like, fake news. No, here's the video. No, it's a fake video. AI. They have the choice to say what is and what isn't real anymore.
I mean, and I think that's why you start looking at the group of three. We look at Bezos, Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk. That group of three right there, we have to really pay attention to what they're doing. They're going to be sitting together at the inauguration. They're all going, I won't say they're going together, but they'll be sitting together by each other.
And I like to say this to people, Republicans, well played. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats are weak. It's a weak party. They prioritize immigrants and the LGBT community before everything. And
I won't say that. I don't believe that at all, but go ahead.
No, okay, that's right.
No.
No.
Not the
whole LGBT. I mean, not all of them, but trans rights. That was the main thing.
The first part is what I hold umbrage with. The second part,
regardless, somebody tried to. Donald Trump tried to overthrow the United States government. They waited to the last year, after 3 years, to try to prosecute him, to give him time to let everybody live in power, to ruin your life. And it was effective enough to the point where your lives were ruined just a little bit in misinconvenience that you thought it would be good to go back to this other person who lied to you, because he did try to overthrow the election. He said the election was fair and he knew it. He did a bunch of shady stuff, and now he's back in power. This man conned you. The paperwork is there. Yep. It's the evidence. You don't have to accept it because it doesn't matter, but it's there. But at the end of the day, he's the commander. He's the dictator in chief now.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's exactly how Hitler got. My bad, I cut you. That's how Hitler got into power. He ran. He did a bunch of stuff. They didn't let him in, but he was still around. They let him be around, and he got to come back and double back. I'm not saying Donald Trump is Hitler. I'm just saying the tactics.
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, when you start listening to the things that he's saying and the things that he's probably going to do and what he tried to do the first time, if he didn't have people in the room willing to tell him no, like I forget. I think his name was Mark Esper or something like that. I forget who he was. I think he was like. Either he was the defense secretary, I think, Mark something. I don't remember his last name. But this is when all the Black Lives Matter protests were going on. This is the one in Washington, D.C. He went out there. He asked him, he said, can we have the National Guard shoot the protesters in the legs? He asked him if the defense secretary would have said yes. Like, this new guy would not say he wouldn't. He was like, I wouldn't. I was there on that day. He didn't answer the question whether he would do what the president said or not? He didn't answer the question because he's a lackey. Go look at who he's putting in office. He's putting a bunch of lackeys who will do exactly what they're told because they don't have any background in it. It's crazy. If you guys would have watched, if you guys get a chance, go back and watch our live on the committee for the defense secretary to be in. So go back and watch that, man. It's crazy, man, because this dude has no real background in any of the things that he's running for right now. Or he's trying to be put on for the committee for right now.
Yeah, no, he's not. Look, he's never led a battalion. That's the whole thing. He was a weekend. He's a weekend co-host. He was in the National Guard, or did he serve? He's never.
I think he was in the National Guard. He was in the National Guard.
General. You know what I'm saying? He's not, his rank. People that don't know about the military, his rank ain't high enough to be where he's at
all. He's not even a general. He's not any of those things.
He's nothing.
Dude said he's never run.
I don't knock. I don't knock nobody that serves, but for this. Yeah, I'm a knock
position. They asked him today. I know we're kind of getting off.
You know who needs to be the head of the Department of Justice, or not Department of Justice, the DOD, Department of Defense, like he does.
Who?
Or somebody that looks dead in their eyes, that walks straight with a certain pace, and he wears a suit and keeps his hat under his arm.
Not a partisan hack. This dude's a partisan hack at best, man. I mean, he's got all kind of serious charges put against him. This isn't new. They're like, oh, this is new stuff. 2017, he had sexual. We should get it. We'll get into that later.
These days, like that stuff's out. I mean, that stuff's. Let's not get too deep in it, but these days, that kind of accusation ain't gonna fly no more.
Really, he paid off the person. Like it was actually he paid him off. This was happened in 2017 before any of this newfound fame that he's about the Department of Justice, any of this stuff, Department of Defense. I'm sorry, even came into light. So this is nothing to do with what he had going on.
To do that, they tell him to do that. They're like, look, man, this person's trying to sue you. You can take it to court. I'm telling you, hey, you can Google it. They tell a lot of them to do it.
I'm not saying they don't tell. I'm not saying that people don't. I'm not saying that it even happened. I'm saying that he paid this off before he even had any kind of inkling that he would be going. He wasn't even in politics at this point in time at all. He hasn't been in politics. He probably wasn't even a newscaster on Fox at that time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you're not just paying off something at that point in time if it's not true. If it's categorically not true, hold on. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to hash this out. I'm not giving you nothing. I'd rather go to court on it, especially something like that.
I'm telling you, a lot of, I mean, it depends who it is. Let me get into this one really quick. House passes bill to ban transgender student athletes from women's sports. The House passed legislation Tuesday that would ban transgender athletes from participating in women's and girls' sports at schools and institutions receiving federal funds. The bill, which would also amend federal law to say that sex shall be recognized based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth, was approved largely along party lines in a 218 to 206 vote. Only 2 Texas Democrats voted in favor of the measure. Texas Rep. Henry Cellular and Vincent Gonzalez. Don Davis, and then Don Davis of, what did they say 2, but there's 3. Don Davis in North Carolina voted present. Excuse me, and the Republicans opposed the measure, and no Republicans opposed the measure.
I mean, I would have voted against it too. Not against it, but I would have voted for that measure as well. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, nobody wants. I wouldn't. I got a daughter, you know. And so at that time, I would not want a male in her sport. I don't care if you're transitioning, what you got going on. That's your thing. I get it. I don't care. That's your personal opinion, personal preference. But I wouldn't want you in a sport with my daughter.
Yeah, me
for
either.
What?
Me either.
Just like I want my daughter in a sport with men, with boys. I mean, period. I wouldn't want to have to subject boys to that, and I wouldn't want to subject girls to that.
And the thing, no one should be subjected to it. It's at the end of the day, they should just create their own trans league,
or they just play. I mean, there has to be some type of, unless you're a hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
there has to be some assigned sex at birth.
I'm just saying, like, before they never had women's sports before. Then they created women's sports, and some women took interest in it. So hey, if you're trans and you want to do sports, create trans sports. Now, if there's nobody trans around you to do the sport with you, it is what it is.
They got that 6'3", 6'4" dude swimming. You know what I mean? Who plays
gave it to the lady.
I know.
Give her a medal. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he couldn't even. He was like the 200, 300 or something. Some dude swimming. He comes in and dominates the women's swimming sport. There's no way, man. That just should never happen.
That's what messes with me too. Is because, like, you have these women. They work their whole life to get to where they're at, to be the top swimmer at your college, to win that medal or whatever, right? And then somebody, I mean, it's unfair. Especially for women's sports, bro, because women had to come a long way. I mean, it's a struggle to be a woman.
And it's messed up that, because in reality, I mean, this is us having to defend that viewpoint, but I think a lot of women have defended the viewpoint of, where people from that community should be included in things.
What,
they should
what
be,
would they call
they
us?
should be
Because
included.
we're against it, right? What do they call? They would call us. They would probably say we're anti-trans. No, I'm just about fairness. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, hey, if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. But at some point, just like that,
I'm not anti-trans. You can be transgender all you want.
Yeah, all you want.
This is different. This is apart from that.
This is sports. This is competition.
This is not saying your personal preference to be who you want to be. That does not make it so that I have to have my daughter or someone. My daughter's older now, but have someone else's kid playing against your kid, and your kid has a physical advantage. That is not natural. You know what I mean? So that's all there is to it, period. That should not happen. I feel, should we let them in boxing as well, too? We had that situation go on earlier. I think it was either earlier this year, I believe it was.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. Okay. We had the situation already go on. So should we have them in that, too? Does it make sense?
It's kind of crazy. I fear for what else is going to happen because, this is not going to be the end. This is just a part of it. I think we reported on another piece where even Meta was like, hey, you can call them mentally ill now.
Mentally ill. That's too far for me. I think that's too far for me. Because they're not just talking about. That's just not me saying that I believe that people who are trans should be able to be called that either. But that's just not talking about a person who is transgender or whatever they want to call themselves. That. That's also talking about people who are just like lesbian or gay or
non-binary.
I'll be honest. I don't even know what non-binary.
It means non-binary is basically you don't claim a boy or a girl. You're just you.
Whatever the case may be. See so I'm talking about like this. Okay, you're gay, you're bisexual, you're lesbian or whatever. You know what I mean? Either one of those. That's okay. I get it. But you shouldn't be able to call people anywhere go that they have mental illness, but especially those ones right there. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like my personal opinion, transgender. That's the thing. That's a different thing for me. I'm not saying you should be able to call them mentally ill either because I don't think that's right. No matter what, but you've blanketed this whole entire statement, even on people who feel like their sexuality is they may be a man or a woman and they like a man or a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? That's to me, it's just a little bit too far. Now you're able to, what else are we going to say to them next? What else are we going to be able to do to them?
I mean, think about it. Are you going to take away on their page, not even know them, just be looking for one and be like, you're mentally ill, you're mentally ill, you're mentally. I mean, they can try to report it as harassment, but it wouldn't be.
Look, and on top of that, I'm saying, it just to me at this point in time, man, it's just gotten to a point to where what's going to happen next, man? What are they going to?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like this is just the tip of an iceberg.
Yeah.
Like they're going to strip all their rights away.
And it's crazy because you look at the person who's probably pushing this the most, other than Donald Trump, is Elon Musk. He's probably pushing this the most. He's probably went to every platform like, hey, I bet you guys were pissed when you guys had to sit on those panels and be berated by Congress people who you're billions of dollars, have billions of dollars more than, way stronger than, as far as like, even in the political standpoint, you know what I mean? Even worldwide, you had to sit there and be belittled by these people. Not anymore. Crazy. You don't have to go through that anymore. And if you think about it here.
They tried to mix it with the black movements and some of them like ADOS. Go ahead.
I'm saying, and Elon Musk is probably the one who took this to them like, hey, we got the power now. We hold the keys. Look, they're all buddied up now. Him, Mark Zuckerberg, and also Jeff Bezos. They're all buddied up. But on top of that, you have to remember Elon Musk's son, I believe it was his son, transitioned into a girl. And he got angry about that and wanted to say his mom forced him to start taking, what are they called? Those pills where you start transitioning pills. I can't remember what they're called, like hormone blockers or something like that. And like that, he was tricked into this, and he was tricked, and that Elon was tricked into signing the paperwork for him to start taking the hormone blockers. You were tricked. How are you tricked?
Hey man,
you got some of the best lawyers there is.
Hey man, period. Sometimes things happen when you angry and it's passionate when it comes to kids.
No man,
you know what I'm saying? Like we can dig deep into it. Like when I'm not defending his answer, bro. I'm just saying, like,
if you care so much about that and you're so against that, you're not going to let your kid be taking hormone blockers when they're underage. If it's your decision, if I'm against that,
Texas, it's against the law. It's child abuse.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So now, but this person's the one who's actually took it to them all. Now they're all like, hey, we should be calling them mentally ill. We should saying something's wrong with them. You're pushing this, and remember, you have a kid who's one of these people.
Well, no, I've said it before, bro. They went too far. As soon as they started trying to like educate the children on that stuff, that's when it became a problem.
Yeah.
That's when it became a huge problem. And then it kept going and kept going.
I think that was big. Like you said before, that's a big part of the reason why the Democrats lost. I mean, you should have saw how many times the ad where she's sitting there and people who are in jail should be able to have access. I couldn't believe she said this. Like, what possessed you to say that?
You in jail.
Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, anyway, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Displaced Los Angeles area residents face spiking rents as authorities warn of price gouging. Joe Thompson's desperate post-wildfire scramble to find a new place for his family to live led him Saturday to a 5-bedroom home in Santa Monica, California, that had been put on the market the day before for $28,000 a month, more than double the rent posted a year ago. The agent was asking for 3 months rent up front and already had applications from multiple people. Thompson and his partner turned away, appalled. "We're not going to do that," Thompson, 44, a trader and investor, said later. "We'll just keep looking." The couple and their 2 children were displaced by a wildfire that leveled much of their Los Angeles neighborhood of Pacific Palisades last week. Although their house was left standing, they don't know the extent of damage or when they will be allowed back. So they have joined thousands searching for housing in the city that had a dire shortage before the disaster. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, sound like regular rent to me.
$28,000 for a 5-bedroom. No, he said it doubled from this same time last year. Double.
Yeah, sounds about right. In California,
$28,000 a month.
Wait, $28,000 a month. I thought it was $2,800. $28,000. Wait, where are you at in California?
$28,000, man.
Where you at?
Look, right.
So it doubled. So before it was
$28,000 a month. It was $14,000 a month. This is in Santa Monica. Probably really nice.
Sounds about right.
Shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Sounds about right.
$28,000 a month? No. But listen,
if it was $14,000 last year, think about that. $14,000 to rent it. Of course, I'm going to double the price. Of course.
That's price gouging, though.
No, that's California, my friend.
No, that's not California.
That's California.
That's not California. That's price gouging. If they just put it out 3 days, they just put it on market 3 days ago for $28,000, double the price. Because they know why? Because they know about 100 and some thousand people.
What if they could have fixed the roof? They could have did the lawn.
Doesn't matter what they've done. What they're doing is price gouging. No, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but bro, it's expensive in California.
But not $28,000. Listen, no rent's is not doubling overnight. It's not happening. Not in 1 year.
Well,
rent's
they know
not
people
doubling.
need a place to stay.
Yeah, it's like if a person needs water during a natural disaster, and then they start raising the price of water from, you can buy a whole case for $4 or something like that, $5 or whatever case. Now they want $50 for a case of water.
It's crazy though. It's like I be telling people this too. Remember, I say it all the time.
Guys, it's crazy.
Look at these people. Look, North Carolina, FEMA's probably not even out there no more.
You don't think so? I guarantee you FEMA's still out there.
Not deep as they was.
I mean, they don't probably have to be. They probably have.
Think about all those people that lost their homes. We didn't even check their insurance to see if they had insurance. Think about this stuff in Cali. Look, I've been saying it on the show and I've been telling everybody this too. I might be joking because I'm going mad. Look, America's too expensive for you to be able to just go to work and bounce the fuck back. Look at this shit. Excuse me. It was $14,000 last year. It's $28,000 now. Look there's so many people out of homes. There's so many people whose insurances they're not going to honor.
I bet you them houses was super fly though. That's not saying $14,000 is a lot of money, but I bet you that house is really nice. It ain't like we're thinking about regular shit. It's probably got big glass windows all up front. You know what I'm saying? Like it's probably some fly shit.
Nothing. Maybe to somebody that lives in a regular housing. All them rich people up there, they're not even going to stay there. They're going to be like, oh, my house burned down, so I'm just staying in Miami. Or I have a house in San Diego.
This is a family, and they had a house in the area, and they probably was doing halfway decent.
How much was
they
paying?
I don't know. They probably wasn't paying that much, but they probably
didn't even say it in the article.
Look, they had to go look and it said $28,000. Then they said the only reason they was tripping was because they got to have 3 months rent up front. So that's you got to have 100 bands. Yeah. They want 100 G's up front. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously they're making money. They went to go look at a $28,000 house. They got the money to go rent.
No, they was like, yo, I can pay the first month.
I can even pay 2 maybe, but you want 3?
Yeah, no, I don't see the problem, bro. Rent? I don't see that's what it is. Hey, yeah, I need last month's
rent up front.
And the deposit. Yeah.
I need 100 G's, right?
Yeah, 100 G's.
Right now.
100 G's.
It's just crazy to me. This is why we sit here and we talk about them. I understand you say Democrats are weak.
Homie, that's California.
Democrats are very weak when it comes to a lot of stuff, but they help the people. That's guaranteed money. I can tell you a number of policies that helps the people they push for, had to do themselves. You got to remember, there's 2 parties that no one just totally runs the country. I mean, you have to have certain things you have to have super majorities on. But we have to look at all the major things that have gone towards the middle class to people, or even the upper middle class, to people who are poor, have come from Democrats, never from Republicans. But we sit back and we talk bad about people who have compassion for people. This is what you're going to get sometimes, are weaker people.
No, but Democrats,
this is what it is.
But for Democrats, they're never full. Or Democratic voters, they're never full. Like the teams of LA donated some money and someone's bitching, that's how you donated? And I'm like, bro, how much did you donate? You know what I'm saying?
People, everyone says stuff like that.
They always want nothing's good enough. And that's why we're in the predicament we're in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's crazy for California, man. That's, I mean, prayers up for them.
It's nuts, man. Like, it's crazy.
Look, California, North Carolina. Look, man, people can't afford to bounce back.
I bet you FEMA is still in North Carolina.
I'm telling you, bro, the system is doing us all so dirty. We're going to look at each other and just be like, yeah, no, we got to get them.
Hey, they thinking like this. Look, they're like this. Look, okay, all this stuff is now burnt down. All this stuff is flooded out. And okay, really it helps them because they're like, now I could take it back from me and jack up the price to where I should have it at now. But at the same time, someone was talking to me about, it's like they think they're going to turn California into like a green kind of city. That'd be the smartest thing for them to do, where they could turn it into like they could upgrade everything. Now think about that. You could upgrade everything in that city. If they were to do it the right way, like right now, that could be one. They could set this up to where California starts to cool itself.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You mean mostly LA, like
LA? You know, I mean,
mostly LA.
If they do it there, it's gonna be.
I mean, you start planting trees. You could put grass or stuff, moss or whatever on the side of it.
The way you build the houses, everything. I mean, even from now on, from the way you run your water lines, everything, your electrical, everything can be set up way different right now. Yeah. If you do it the right way.
Or they could just take the land and buy everybody out. Or then price them out so they can't live there no more. Then all the rich people get all the nice area right there, beachfront property.
That'll probably be what happens.
You know what I'm saying? So Nicolas Maduro calls for Puerto Rico invasion to liberate island from U.S. Maduro, who took power in 2013 following Hugo Chavez's death from cancer, was sworn in for his third 6-year term this past Friday, despite rebukes from the United States and other governments that say he stole last year's election and widespread protests ahead of the ceremony. The U.S. and other governments recognized Maduro's opponent, Edwin Gonzalez, as the victor of last July's election. On Friday, the U.S. announced $25 million reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest or conviction, highlighting a renewed effort to destabilize Maduro's presidency and bolster the opposition's bid to restore democracy. Although the chance of Puerto Rico being invaded appears unlikely, the comments serve as a reminder of the Venezuelans' challenges that await President-elect Donald Trump when he returns to the White House in January 20th.
I hope Maduro does invade Puerto Rico. The reason why I say that is because it would give us a reason to run into Venezuela.
Yeah, I think Trump will let him take Puerto Rico.
Nah, he won't let him take it. He's going to run in. Well, it's like this. The reason, okay, your reasoning is good, but the only reason I say he would not, because you know what he would get as a prize if he didn't let him take it?
If you go take Venezuela, you get all that oil.
He would get the Saudi Arabia, bigger than this. Really, Saudi Arabia is the Venezuela of oil, because Venezuela has the most oil reserves in the entire world.
I mean, it makes sense for him to just especially if you're talking about like expansion and conquest, what like I think he's going to try to do. Like, I mean, Greenland, I guess Greenland's with it.
Some of the people there, but not the government.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Denmark is the country that it's like an appendage.
The government wouldn't be with it, bro. You know how many Americans about to be up there moving? Bruh.
I mean, it's crazy. They got a lot of natural resources too. Greenland's worth trillions. There's untapped. We have no idea how much. I'm not against it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not against Greenland. I said that before. I ain't against that. That's like, because you got to remember there's Arctic lanes, all kind of stuff that we're going to need that'll help us possess those lanes. Cause I mean, either way it goes, you can stick somebody. There's only two ways to getting out from there. You got to remember this. You can either get out by Alaska. That's us.
Yeah.
Or you can get out through the Greenland area right up over there. That's us. Connect between Canada. Greenland's between Canada and it's between the Baltic and, Russia. So any way anyone goes, that's us.
I mean, and then he's taking the Panama Canal.
I'm not with that.
But he's the thing, when you get Greenland, then you're taking the Panama Canal.
I'm not with that.
Now you own a lot of routes.
You do. I'm not again. I hear what you're saying. It's Dakota. It's Dakota's.
It's cold. Hey, but expansion for me. I mean, why don't he just take all of South America?
Really, I mean, if anything, or just help out South America, or start making our neighbors a little bit more stable, make them into better partners for yourself instead of keeping everybody pushed down. That's the dumbest thing you could do. But what I was going to say though, you remember that scene in what's the movie called W? I think it was W, when Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney were talking about empire building, when they're showing the map of how they should take over Syria, Iran, Iraq, and have all the oil and do empire. That's what it sounds like to me when we're talking about this right now.
I'm just saying, bro. I believe him. He's about that expansion. He's like, look, he's like homeboy in jail. He's like, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
You stupid, bro. That's real, dude. That's exactly what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Hey, like I said, I'm not against it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of taking it to the flow.
Hey, Crockett, Mace get into heated exchange over trans rights. If you want to take it outside, Reps Jasmine Crockett, Democrat of Texas, and Nancy Mace, Republican of South Carolina, got into a heated exchange during Tuesday's Oversight and Accountability Committee hearing and discussions about civil rights and transgender rights that ended with Mace suggesting the two could take it outside. Crockett asked her fellow members to reinstate the subcommittee on civil rights and civil liberties, which was disbanded in early 2023 after the GOP took control of the House. Mace responded by highlighting her ongoing discourse about transgender women using women's restrooms. Mace, the former ranking member on the subcommittee, said she cares about civil rights and civil liberties. She slammed the Democrat Party for its inclusive rhetoric about transgender women, often using harsh and offensive language. You want to be forced to undress in front of a man in the locker room and in dressing rooms, and it's so hypocritical for you to sit here and she screamed from the rooftops about right to privacy and civil rights when you don't respect women, Mace said. Mace, a survivor of rape who was vocal about her experience, argued transgender women use women's locker rooms and bathrooms with the intent to sexually assault or rape women. Wow, that's a pretty deep statement for her to say that. I understand she's been through what she's been through, but that's a broad blanket statement to say. That's pretty liable. Honestly, to say something like that.
It's kind of, that's the new norm. You can just say stuff like that. I mean, they say that someone can say that about anybody, but I see both sides of it, but at the end of the day, let's play the video really quick. Can we do that? Yeah, let me play the video of the encounter.
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not
call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I'm 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a
Chairman,
child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order.
That sounds like a threat to me for her to say something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I understand where she's coming from. She has the right to say whatever she wants, but you're allowing.
She should have took it outside.
I ain't gonna lie. She should
Should have took it outside.
Should have took it outside.
Yeah, but she didn't have a thing to put her hair up, so it would have been over.
She would have wrapped her hair.
Yeah, Mace would have got her hair, then the wig come off, and everybody got. If it's a wig, it could be a real hair. I don't know.
But the point of it is, though, these
she said,
two have had.
Please, and then smiled as soon as she said it because she knew she said she disrespected her.
I'm gonna say like this, absolutely. You know what I mean? But these two have had words before, just like her and Marjorie Taylor Greene have had words. Jasmine Crockett has had words called her some names back in the day. So this has been an ongoing spat in that committee. That committee is going to be ruckus probably, for the next 4 years, especially what's going on. They're going to really go after Jasmine Crockett, try to get rid of her because of how outspoken she is.
Yeah.
But hopefully she has a strong community behind her in her district and she can stay in office. We can keep on getting this kind of somewhat civil discourse.
That would have been crazy if Crockett was like, we ain't even got to go outside.
Get down right
Come on,
here.
get on the flow.
You know what I mean? Because right now, if you look at it, the situation, man, it seems like Marjorie Taylor and the other and Mace have been probably talking about this for a minute. I do this and I do this. You know what I mean? You know how people are. It's just men and women. We all talk like that. And
but women are gonna, and women are gonna have their feelings about trans women. They're allowed to, you know what I'm saying? Just like, that's the whole thing. Everyone, people try to act like they're above criticism or above hate. Like you have to respect everything I'm doing. No, that's not how the world works. You can't demand respect. You know what I'm saying? You kind of earn it. Like I respect my enemies, you know what I'm saying? Because to a point,
I know,
like, cause I'm not going to act like they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? But
I get what you're saying. this is a tough subject for them, but it's not for Mace. Obviously, she's a staunch, far right on this subject, but I don't think you have to be far right on this subject to look at this for what it is.
And if the women are uncomfortable, like I don't like people using the N-word around me that aren't black. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's just crazy that a person
so
who's
like
a
this,
man,
it's like, look, if a woman who didn't vote for whatever this is goes into a bathroom or a locker room and she, like she said, she doesn't want to dress in front of and to her, that's a man. It was a man. That's what it is. So why don't the government just build unisex bathrooms?
We have to play
what I'm saying?
That video I showed you the other day on Friday Fix. We might have to play that video. It's just, they built them. They built unisex bathrooms, man. I told you already. Go to
unisex gyms, or if your community if there's a community out there, like you shouldn't have to build a whole. You should have to pay out like on your taxes. It should be like boom.
You shouldn't have to build a whole nother bathroom for people.
Why not?
Because you shouldn't. It should be this or this. Period.
Yeah. It's okay, but it's not.
I'm just saying you shouldn't have to, because that hurts business too at the same time.
It's not though. I mean, that's what it has to do. So somebody has to throw the money on it. You can't demand something and then I try to back your money up with it.
They're not going to care if they're just like, okay, how did handicapped people back up their money with when they demanded handicapped parking spots in each spot and the signs go up and everything else they needed? No, they didn't have to. That's what they're going to say.
But handicapped people had a lot of time to sit there and write them letters.
This is crazy, brother, man. And with that, hey, make sure you
whatever.
Guys,
I mean, it's true, bro. They wrote them letters. They was chilling. I mean, that's how they got the stuff done.
All I'm saying is this right here. At the end of the day, they're going to ask for the same exact rights as anybody else, and that just is what it is. But I don't feel like they should be getting the right to play sports against other people who are not. I mean, a man should not get the right to play sports against a woman. Period. It just is what it is.
And if women feel uncomfortable with trans people in their locker room, they have a right to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be happening.
You have a right to feel uncomfortable. Like, no one gets to dictate your feelings. That's what I'm saying.
You
got
someone in your locker room who can overpower you real easily, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it's late, it's late. I mean, it just think about it. We all know what this is.
I mean, another woman can overpower you. I mean, there's not. You don't really hear about attacks in locker room.
No one's good.
There's been a couple where like a dude, like there was one where a dude, he was like, he tried to go into the woman's locker room because he said he identified as a woman, but he was just trying to see some titties.
Man, I remember the lady let the one dude into her. It just happens so many times. We've seen all this before. We've seen these stories before. That this is just is what it is. I understand where Mace is coming from. I believe the same way she does. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, they should have fought on the floor. Anyways, uncommon courtesy, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next time.